Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Guitar Souls podcast. This is episode number 90, and today is a big one, but we will get there. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Levi Clay, and I am here with my good friend, Mr. Mike McLaughlin. How is it going, bud?
I am super excited. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. For those not in the know, I mean, it's pretty obvious because it would have been in the titles for all these, but today is the day that we draw the names and do the giveaway. Somebody is going to win an Ormsby. Woo! Would you like to... No, let's hold off from that. How's your week been?
Yeah, let's cock tease a wee bit. My week's been not bad, mate. Thank you. Probably nothing exciting to report, to be honest.
That's not true. You took another year around the sun.
Oh, come on. You would have to fucking mention it. That's the reason why I missed the streaming Monday. Sure. It was my birthday. I turned 31 on Monday.
31.
4th of January, 1990, just in case anybody wants to fish me.
It's just a relentless passage of time, isn't it? Another year older, another year more tired every day when you wake up, creaky in the bones, and fun times.
You're so right. I got a really, really cool coffee press. For my birthday for Nancy, and it's portable. It's called an AeroPress. Mm-hmm. And just put ground coffee into it. So I took that to work with me, and I was just making relentless coffees, and I was buzzing out my tits most of the week.
Yeah, you are a bit of a fucking bit of a coffee fiend, and I like that.
Nah, I hate caffeine. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Back on that old shit. Yeah. What about you, mate? What's been happening with you? What's going on this week?
Good. My piano showed up. Finally showed up, and I got a radiator in my dining room, so my radiator is actually warm now. My dining room is warm.
I've got a present for you, but it's not arrived yet.
This sounds exciting.
It will be.
Very, very exciting.
I'm kind of worried it might be a duplicate or a doubler that you've got, but we'll see what happens.
Such is life. That's the nature of the man that buys everything that he sees that he fancies. I tell you what, I'm gonna throw this not suggestion, but I want feedback from our audience on this one. I'm considering picking up. I don't know if you're aware of these Neurophones headphones.
Are these the ones that are apparently? I don't know how they work. Have they got like an XY microphone in them or something that works out how your hearing works and then corrects the EQ to it?
Yeah. So Melissa and her roommate both use these, and she's always talking about that she pays for a subscription to have access to these. And I was very much of I'm always ripping on these things because I'm like, what a dumb idea. Who buys a product and then has to pay to be able to use the product? But no, when I looked into these Neurophone headphones, that's not how it works. You can buy the headphones outright and just use them, or you can literally just subscribe to them. They send you the headphones and then you pay your monthly subscription. The headphones, I think they cost like £350 to buy them, or you can subscribe to them for £12 a month, and every 24 months they'll send you a new pair of headphones. So it's one of the few examples I can think of where you would subscribe to something, pay someone a monthly fee, and actually get a better service than just owning the thing outright. So, I'm considering...
Kind of like mobile phone contracts?
Yeah. Well, yes and no.
Not quite the same, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, because with a mobile phone contract, you own the phone, whereas in this example, you don't own the headphones. You're essentially renting them, but that means if anything goes wrong with the headphones, they'll make sure that you get a new pair, which is cool. I'm kind of into this idea. I hear the sound on them is incredible. And at £12 a month to have some top of the line headphones, that doesn't seem like the worst deal. So is anyone out there familiar with the Neurophones? Let me know what you think in that comment section.
I'm just looking them up right now, and yep, I think that's the kind of thing I would definitely get into.
Anyway, should we talk about doing this draw?
Nah, I think we should talk about the beautiful people behind the draw first.
Sure. Did you know that this you're going to do it? Cool. Did you know?
I was just waiting on it.
That this draw was brought to us by. This show is brought to you by Ormsby Guitars. If you want to see something beautiful, head on over to Ormsby's Instagram page right now and see what they are all about. Ormsby Guitars have been at the cutting edge of guitar design innovation since Perry started the company way back in 2003. Since then, the brand has gone on to be one of the #1 brands associated with Australia and modern guitar design. Aside from having one of the most ridiculous custom shops in the market today and a dedicated team that can essentially build you anything that your heart desires, more recently the brand has gained critical acclaim for their runs of custom order guitars manufactured in Korea, shipped to Australia and then sent out through their distributor network. These guitars include incredible designs such as the Hype and the Goliath. If you head on over to Ormsby's website right now and check out the pre-order section, you can pre-order a Goliath Run 14 guitar now for under $1,200. That's an incredible price and an amazing amount of guitar for your money. So as always, a huge thank you to our friends and family over at Ormsby Guitars, not only for all of the wonderful levels of support that you guys have given us over the last long period of time, getting on for 18 months now, I think. Massively appreciated, but for all the wonderful things that you are doing for the guitar community as a whole, and something incredible like giving away a guitar like this deserves some major props. So please do go and follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Facebook, let them know that we sent you, give them all the love in the world because they absolutely fucking deserve it. Awesome, guys.
Big fucking facts.
Yeah.
And I think they've been kind of passing guitars out to more people these days as well. I know Keelan got a guitar from them, KDH, and he seems pretty happy with that, which, I mean, can't blame him. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so big thanks to Perry and the guys, just as you say. Will we put these people out their misery and think about maybe letting somebody find out they've won this beautiful future?
Sure, let's do it. So I'm going to give everybody a rundown on how we are going about doing this. I know we talked about names in a hat. That kind of went out the window when I realised actually having enough paper in order to cut up.
You don't have a big enough hat?
Several hundred names, etc.
Fair.
Just wasn't a thing that was really, really viable. Saying that, I tell you what's really frustrating, not being able to export a list of names of every single person that's emailed you from your Gmail, okay? So I had to manually go through and type every single one of these out. But what I have done, in order to keep things as fair as humanly possible, this is completely random, I have written out a complete list of every single person that has contacted us. I have then run that through a list checker to check for duplicates. There were a few people that were cheeky and tried to send us a couple of emails. Naughty, naughty, naughty. We asked you not to do that. Why did you do that? Why did you naughty boys? Then what I've got
They might have just sent us a couple of different bits of info, so we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it was nowhere near as widespread as people had suggested that it would be. We're talking 5 people, so on a list that size, it's insignificant. Anyway, then what I've done is I've put all of this entire list in a list randomizer, because when we pick a random number, I do not want people to think that, the number randomizer was never going to pick the number 1. I agree with that, although that's obviously not true. But psychologically, you think it's just not going to do that. So I've got all of your names in a list, and I'm going to randomize that list several times so that list order is completely random. I will just pull that up and do that a few times now. So I have randomized this list 7, 8, 9,
10 times.
10 times. So all of these names are in a completely random order. Now what we're going to do is we're doing 5 giveaways today, and on screen you can see a random integer generator. I'm going to click the again button on this, and it's going to pull out a number, and that's going to correspond to one of the names on this list. So I was going to say, shall we start with the Ormsby? Shall we start with the Ormsby, or should we do that as the big prize at the end?
I'm totally for just eking this out.
Okay, cool. So 5 giveaways. We're giving away an Ormsby guitar. We are giving away 2 individual Ormsby guitar care packages. We're going to be giving away a Guitar Souls merch package, and we are going to be giving away an R Souls merch package, which will be Levi Clay and Mike McLaughlin, or Hellcat Molly and Party Cannon merchandise. So why don't we start with the shite one? Should we do the R Souls merch package?
Well, I don't know about shite, because I'm repping one of them right now.
That'd be great if people could see you. All right, I'll move you out of the way. Okay, cool.
Look.
Oh yeah, I might actually be able to dig out a Hellcat Molly t-shirt. I've got like 4 of those left.
If you don't have any, someone can have mine. It's only been mildly worn and probably smells just a bit. But yeah, so Levi and I had said at the start of this, if we had enough entries, we would try and do a couple of things. And Jesus Christ, we had a couple of entries.
Yeah.
Just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So, right, let's do it. What we're doing for the Arseholes package first then.
So, yeah, we're going to do the Arseholes package first. This will be some Hellcat Molly merch and some Party Cannon merch. So I'm going to click the again button. Number 183. This is, are you making a note of these?
I will. Sorry, I didn't realise I was involved.
This is, 183 is Hands of Doubt. Hands of Doubt.
Hands of Doubt. And you won the arsehole package.
Well done, mate.
Doesn't sound very appealing, but it'll be nicer than that. Let us know what sizes you are. Obviously, we can sort out merch for you there with a couple of ideas of what we can do.
Yeah, we'll shoot you an email.
Congratulations, Hands of Doubt. That's a 1 of 5.
Yeah. I was going to say apologies for not winning the big prize, but I guess it's entirely possible that the random integer generator will spit out 183 again. Seems very unlikely. But
You're not wrong though.
yeah,
I mean, that the nature of it being random is that it's completely random.
yes,
so.
but I would say technically speaking, his name is no longer in the hat. So if 183 comes out again, you shit out of luck, sir. Right. So shall we move on to the Guitar Souls merch package? We will be sending you some of our lovely merchandise, which of course is available on Teespring. Link is in the description, so please do go and check that out. And I'm going to make a plea to everybody when I say this. Please do go and check that out, because at the end of this, we're giving away an Ormsby guitar, and we're going to have to ship that guitar somewhere in the world. And I've got a feeling that it's not going to be all that cheap to do that. So it'll be nice if that's paid for. So
yeah.
So
fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Who knows what that's going to cost? Who cares? It's all worth it. So the Guitar Souls merch package is going to go to number 189. Very close, very close. This is Strange Wings 77. Strange Wings 77.
We need to get some real names for these people as well, don't we?
I have them all, but these are the names that their emails come up as when they email. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
So congratulations, that's the Guitar Souls package.
Yeah. Now we're going to be giving away an Ormsby guitar care package. The guitar care kit. Do you want to hold that up? I'm sure you've got it to hand.
Of which we have two.
The in front of your face. There we go.
I'm like Debbie McGee.
And as I always say about that blue stuff smells amazing. I would consider using that as aftershave.
The actual guitar wax. I think it's called Speed Wax.
One. Oh, the white one.
That's it. Spotless. That's the cleaner.
Yeah.
The white one.
Yeah.
That was a solution that Perry had mentioned had actually made up to clean and polish his Ferrari.
Yep.
So I'd imagine it's pretty good on cars as well as guitars. I've only tried it on guitars of mine so far, but
yeah.
And you're right, man. They smell brilliant.
Okay, cool. So I'm really hoping that this next random number isn't also in the 180s.
Fingers crossed. If it is, we'll just do it again.
198. It's really like in the high hundreds.
Will we give that another shuffle or whatever, just in case?
I mean, I tell you what, I'm going to press it a few times just so you can get a feel. Look, number 7. 133. Let's go 133.
Should go one more, because then it's not random.
109.
109.
Garth Johnson.
Party on, Garth.
Garth,
congratulations, mate. We'll get this out to you.
You have won yourself an Ormsby care package. But we've got another one to give away. Let's do it again. 124.
124. I don't see any of the 2 or single digits yet, so I think for the guitar we should just click it 10 times and just go so it's as random as it can be. So who's 124?
124 is Jamie Millard.
Well done, Jamie. You've got a care package incoming.
I just want, and we're really teasing this out now because we're getting towards the guitar being given away. So why not eke it out a little bit? It's funny because I know Apple had to redesign how shuffle worked. Do you know? Are you aware of this? They had to redesign how shuffle worked because the human brain is really terrible at understanding or perceiving what random is. And we're kind of doing it here by saying, oh, well, we've not seen any low numbers. We've not seen any high numbers. If we click it several times, suddenly that'll be somehow more random. Apple had to redesign how shuffle worked because people were saying it's not really random because it's playing the same, every now and again I'm hearing the same track. But that is random. Sometimes things for humans' brains are too random and they don't like it. They want a bit more organization to their randomness. So how many times do you want me to click this? And this is as random. That's random because you're getting to pick how many times we click it.
13, because I want to jinx
13.
everybody.
I like this because nobody else can see the list of names, so people are going to...
When you pull my name out, it'll be a real good surprise.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Unlucky for some, but lucky for one. I feel like a bingo caller.
So, yeah, it's funny. The first number we pulled was 183, wasn't it?
You're at it.
We are at 181, and it's Austin Mazzy, Mazzei. Austin Mazzy. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations,
Austin. Go on yourself.
And just so you really do know that is the name. I'm sliding this over now, and there we can see Austin Mazzy, 181, number 181 on that list. Congratulations, sir. I nearly said congratulations there. It's like I've been watching lots of RuPaul. Austin Mazzy, well done, sir. Well done.
Absolutely,
I will send you an email when this show goes live. I won't send it out before the show goes live. Hopefully, you know what? I feel I should send it the day after the show's gone live, so he can get that joy of seeing his name pulled on the show.
I like that. That's good.
Austin Mazzy,
I'm into it.
well done, sir. Thank you so much for your participation in this. And remember, guys, that doesn't mean that our fan mail section is closed. In fact, we're going to be reading some out shortly. So please do continue to send as much fan mail as you like now to GsolesFanMail@gmail.com. I nearly said at gsoles.com there.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Congrats to you guys. Congrats to you all. We've got Hands of Doubt with the Arsehole merch, Strange Wing 77 with the Guitar Souls package, Garth and Jamie for the care packages, and Austin got the guitar. So I think it maybe be nice for us to get a hold of him after this has went live, and depending whether he's interested or not, maybe get him on for a wee chat and just see what the reaction's like.
Suits me.
Just a couple of minutes.
I kind of like the idea. I kind of want to nip into the emails now and see what the email he sent us was.
Save that for another episode.
I just want to see if it's a good one. Oh, you know what? This is great, right? So the way I organise all of the emails is I've put stars next to ones that I think are good ones that we could read out on the show. So I've just typed in his name in, and he's one of the ones that's got a star next to his name. So this is absolutely somebody that we want to talk about. And you know what? I remember reading this email. This email came in very early. We'll read it next week. It was a great question. And for me, I think it needed a little bit of thought before we talk about it. So yeah, that's a really nice feeling. Somebody won it that sent us a really decent email. So congratulations one more time, Austin. Shall we read some fan mail, Mike?
Yes, let's do it. So I've got 5 pieces of fan mail here.
Yes.
I'm just going to batter through them quickly. We can have a quick chat about them. There's not really that much going on in the actual music world.
No.
At the moment, so there is some news, but honestly, quite a few things where you and I were like, is there much point talking about that? Only really one honourable mention that I want to laugh about, which is your man for Iced Earth now being on the FBI's most wanted list for storming the Capitol building and shouting in somebody's face.
What an incredible move.
I know, it's a power move. Yeah. The ironic for a power metal band. The
I'd say less ironic. I'd say quite fitting. They're so power metal that they make these ballsy power moves, yeah.
Well, I just think I don't know if it's ironic that anti-maskers have ignored no face, no case as a rule. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, look, we're going to go way past that, so let's just get into this and enjoy the good content.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'm a wee bit chuffed about the fact that somebody's getting this guitar. Yeah. I'm looking forward to sending it. So, anybody that writes in their fan mail that they would be super excited to win this guitar, I'm sorry, you haven't. But that doesn't mean there won't be a next time. Yeah. We'll certainly try again. Yeah. So, first email here is from Matt Cummer. I would like to win that Ormsby. Love the channel, and you should have way more numbers, Levi. You're an icon in this community. I hope to go across the pond one day and enjoy some bangers and mash. Long live the Queen.
Yeah, so I included this one because it's obviously he knows that I'm English, but living in Scotland, there's no further sentiment to me than long live the Queen. I couldn't be any further from that as a sentiment. I have disowned my country of birth.
Aye, I mean if you go to Larkhall,
yes,
they're all for the Queen there.
Yeah,
they're in Bridgeton, and aye, it's an interesting place. Thanks for the email, Matt. Appreciate it. Yeah. Even though you only padded Levi's ego, what about mine?
Well, let's fire back, right? So he suggested bangers and mash. If Matt was to come across the pond and enjoy some Scottish food, what would be your number one?
I would. Am I only allowed to make one course, or can I make 3?
You can make 3 courses. One of the things I like to do when I started dating again, or I went on Tinder, one of the questions that I would always ask is, so you get a call and it's Dave Lamb on the phone, and you've been invited to come dine with me. So you've got people coming over to your house for a dinner party, and you've got to cook them a meal. 3 dishes, 3 courses. What do you cook?
Ooh.
Go. So, Mike, you're on come dine with me.
No bother. I would get some Stornoway black pudding and haggis, and I would make haggis and black pudding bonbons for an intro, for the starter with pakora, homemade pakora, batter for those. For the main, I would probably just make mince and tatties, maybe haggis, neeps and tatties, depending. Probably mince and tatties because I've just had haggis in the starter. Yeah. And then I would make cranikin for the dessert, which is like whipped cream, whiskey, honey, toasted oats, and like a wee jar. Oh,
getting excited just thinking about it.
I had cranikin. I've not had cranikin since last Christmas, and I'm still excited thinking about it.
I like how cliche you were with that list because you had to change your main because you're like, oh no, can't put haggis on there twice.
You told me that I need to be on Come Dine with me, right? I thought we were just talking about somebody was coming over for dinner. Fuck's sake. Don't throw me in the melting pot and then get angry that I gave you a good answer.
Oh, no, not angry. Very amused.
I know.
Thoroughly enjoy that. I'm surprised your dessert wasn't minced haggis because...
Well, I'm firing back at you. What would you serve for your 3 courses?
Yeah, so this is what I said to Melissa when she fired it back at me. I would make... chicken wings, buffalo wings.
America great again?
Because I do good chicken wings. I like American food, so this is really the problem with this. I would make a banging macaroni cheese as a main, because I make a really good macaroni cheese.
So I think essentially what you're doing here is you're laying out what's going to happen the day one after lockdown and what you and I are going to eat in your new kitchen. Your new dining room.
I feel this is unlikely because remember you're vegan now.
I am vegan when I want to be.
Fair.
Doesn't mean I don't eat meat.
No,
I'm just
fair.
trying to be as principled and good as possible.
Yeah.
Probably more so for my own health than anything, because I felt like I was eating a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So I'm now eating a lot more veg. I've lost weight and I'm feeling better for it. So it's good.
Yeah.
So far no effects on the mental health, but we'll report back on that if I can get a peer-studied review or a study out that can be peer-reviewed. Linking veganism and better mental health, and maybe I could upset a few people.
Yep.
Who knows? Sorry, mate. Didn't mean to cut in there.
No,
Go again.
I'm glad because it gave me a second to think because I panicked. Like, what was my dessert? I can't remember what my dessert was, but I know the answer to this.
Pudding?
No, it's a banana split because the banana split is my favourite dessert. Haley, for my birthday, after we'd broken up, still got me a birthday present, which was very much appreciated, and it was all of the things that I would need to make a banana split in the house. So banana boats and all of the sauces and stuff. And I do enjoy a banana split. It's simple, it's basic ass bitch food, to be honest. Cooking chicken wings is incredibly easy. I don't know why people constantly fuck it up. A macaroni cheese is not difficult to do if you can make a good
How do
roux.
you do them when you're making your wings? Are you doing them in the air fryer?
No. They need to be properly fried. I tried the air fryer and you can just never get them the crispy way that you need them to be. So
Think you could air fry them and then just drop them in boiling oil just to not stir them but seal the batter? The reason I'm asking is, sorry, we're totally going off tangent here. Nancy actually bought a really, really good Ninja air fryer that's got a grill and all sorts in it, all sorts of stuff, man. It's crazy. So
you want to try and work out a good way to do wings?
Well, actually, I really, really want to try and make like bang cauliflower in the house.
Sure.
And I know, man, I'm turning into a total...
No, it's good.
I want to say soy boy, but that sounds really bad.
No, it's good, like, because I'm sure I've mentioned on the podcast before, like, Melissa's a vegetarian, so anytime I'm going over there, she's cooking delicious vegetarian food for me, and it is just all delicious vegetarian food. So there's a confidence in cooking thing, you know?
You'd be really, really shocked at how much easier even the complicated recipes are for at least the recipes I've done, man. It's been mostly like stir fries and making a chili with substitutes and stuff. Anyway, sorry, right, so big banana split. Will we move on to...
Let's do it.
Fan mail 2?
Yeah.
Ready to say letter there. Sorry, my brain's not working. So this was from Charlie. Hey guys, in an episode a month or two ago, I remember you talking about John Petrucci's new 8-string and basically saying why the fuck does he need an 8-string, which is, I think that's valid and fair criticism.
Yeah, when I was reading this and he goes on to say, well, I've just been watching and listening to some older episodes, I was worried that he thought we were going to have contradicted ourselves, which seemed ludicrous to me, but continue.
Well, we're open-minded. We both understand that there's value in listening to other viewpoints and moving your point and your perspective as required. But yeah, let me read on. Well, I've just been watching / listening to some of the older episodes on YouTube, and in episode 32, fucking hell, we're at what, 90?
Yeah.
That's literally a third of the way in
of
our tenure so far, which is fucking incredible. While I'm on that again, because I'm the king of getting distracted. Thanks very much to anybody and everybody that's gave us any sort of listening that's made us get to episode 90. I mean, Levi and I kind of love ourselves a wee bit anyway, so we probably would just be talking here to nobody. But at least we've got a reason to be motivated by it, you know? just being honest, right? Anyway, sorry, so episode 32, which was back in March 2019, pre-World Meltdown. The first story you talk about is actually Ernie Ball making a prototype 8-string for John. This made me chuckle because, and I quote, you say, I can't think of anything worse than John Petrucci playing an 8-string, if I'm completely honest with you. Nice to know you still feel the same way. I also wonder if you still feel the same, that replacing Petrucci with John Brown would be a good idea. So thanks for the podcast, you hairy bastards. Much love.
Yeah, we're nothing if not consistent, and it's because like our opinions, we don't hold the opinions that we have in order to carry any favour with people. Like my opinion on John Petrucci playing an 8-string is exactly that. It's my opinion. So I'd be amazed if my opinion just randomly changed for any reason. And he doesn't actually say who said that. I'm sure it sounds like something I'd say. I'm not entirely sure. It probably would have been me that said something about John Brown. I don't know if that. I'd like to see the exact quote for that. I don't think the idea of John Brown joining Dream Theater would be a great idea. But I'm much more interested in what John Brown is going to do with an 8-string than I am what John Petrucci is going to do with an 8-string. And yeah, that still holds true for me. I don't care what John Petrucci is going to do on an 8-string. No, thank you.
I can only imagine how tight the rhythm section would have, or how tight the rhythm section would be of John Brown and Mike Portnoy. I would really, really enjoy to see that, to be honest.
The fitting because neither of those people are in Dream Theater.
Fair. Very fair. Forgetting that. Who's playing drums for them these days?
Mike Mangini.
Mangini, that's right. As time marches on, my brain isn't working. See, honestly, man, this lockdown has just got my brain not working. I'm so used to Groundhog Day, wake up, go to work, come home, make dinner, spend time with Finlay, spend time with Nancy, play a bit of guitar, play some computer games, go to bed, wash, rinse, repeat. Hard going. Thanks very much for the email, Charlie. Appreciate it. Hopefully that answered your question. And we are hairy bastards, you know it. Dean Loftus is email number 3. Greetings from Ayrshire. Oh, they're the coast. First off, thanks for keeping my brain occupied with your rants and asides. This year has been a roller coaster. I'm sure you mean last year, but absolutely, I totally agree. With the birth of my baby boy to the death of a young friend, congratulations on the birth of your son, and I'm really sorry for your loss. Though I'm still lucky enough to have more ups than downs. It's a really good way to look at it. It's not easy, but we all do our best, don't we? Podcast question. I once had an Ibanez RG3120 in Twilight, which was the greatest sounding and playing guitar I ever owned. But being young, and at a time when YouTube assistance was not as abundant as it is now, the double lock train was an enigma. I sold that guitar, and to this day is the only piece of gear I regret selling. What, if any, has been your biggest gear sale regret?
Good question, right?
Regards. Aye, absolutely. Thanks very much, Dean. That's a great email. Yeah. Maybe my wee crank amp. I think that's probably my biggest regret, and not because I was using it all the time or whatever, but
that's recent as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, last year. Started last year. I kind of like the first quarter of last year, and I think I regret it because I've kind of got sentimental value to it. I mean, I could probably get it back. But that was an incredible bit of kit, quite rare. But it also served a lot of travel with me, which was fantastic. It was really nice to have.
Yeah. If that's what you just jumped to, that's your answer. Like, I think with a question like this, you just need to. I'm the same. Like, I've got 3 things that stick out in my mind, but actually, the more I process through them, one of them is just definitely the one that got away.
Really? And what's that?
So
your Gold Top?
No, I've completely forgot I owned that guitar actually. Similar story to what happened with Dean, right? So when I was young, the first nice guitar I ever bought, I worked to get the money to buy an Ibanez PGM 100, which is the blue and pink Paul Gilbert signature model, right? And I got that guitar.
You and I are not friends anymore if you get rid of that.
Well, so
the fact that's not on your house for me to come and play.
So
breaks my heart.
It was such a cool guitar, but it turned up, and I had no idea how the lock and tremolo worked. I just had no concept of how this worked, and I could not get this guitar to do what it needed to do. So I spoke to the guy that I bought it from, and he was like, "Look, I've got a a PGM 400, which is the red and gold one, red with gold F holes. Now there were two versions of that. There was the PGM 400 and the PGM 500. The PGM 500 was the mass-produced one. It had a maple back of the neck, reverse headstock, and was it a fixed bridge? I don't remember whether or not that one was a fixed bridge. But the PGM 400 was limited to Japan only. It had a finished back of the neck. It had like a glittery red sparkle finish on the back of the neck as well, and it had a really cool Wilkinson tremolo on it. And the headstock was I was going to say the right way around, but the regular headstock on it. So I had that guitar, and I loved that guitar. It was such a good guitar. And for some reason, it's not even some reason. This is the one that got away. For some reason, when I was at university, when I went to university, that was still my main guitar that I was playing. I became really obsessed or caught up in the idea of, and you should, because this stuff is important, about identity and an image that you're putting out when you're building a brand for yourself. And I couldn't get on board with playing the Paul Gilbert guitar. And it's the same reason I eventually sold my Guthrie Govan signature, which I also regret selling. Mark Palmer owns that. I wish I could get that back sometimes. But yeah, I felt that I needed to not be playing a Paul Gilbert guitar. I needed to play something that didn't scream Paul Gilbert. And this is where it's really fucking dumb, because I traded that guitar. I didn't sell it. I traded it. And I traded it for a Desert Yellow RG550, one of the anniversary ones, right? Man, I got fucking raped on that deal.
I was going to say, like, the 550s were obviously very sought after, but not quite to the point of a Japan-only Ibanez Paul Gilbert model.
Yeah, I know. I think I essentially traded a £1,500 guitar there for a guitar that was at best worth $1,000. And it's really dumb when you really think about it, because I did it because I didn't want to be identified with Paul Gilbert. But the reason I wanted the RG550s, because I had a Road Flare red one as well, is because Paul Gilbert played RG550s. So I still hadn't really got to the core of what it was that I was trying to fix.
I love that there's like a full thought process in the gear that got away.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. That's a really, really, really good question.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Dean. I appreciate it. Will we shift you on to number 4?
Sure, let's do it.
Joseph Maxwell. Hello, lads. Hope you had a banging Christmas. And you, friend. Thanks very much. First off, thank you for the podcast. I've struggled this year going through and mostly recovering from Guillain-Barré. Is it Guillain-Barré syndrome? Full body paralysis. Jesus Christ, Joseph. Hopefully you're okay, mate. And, you're keeping well. Still dropping things randomly and bumping into walls, but I can't complain. God damn, it's been a tough year for everyone. That's such a positive outlook for such a fairly difficult life position to be in, so big love to you, mate. Well done. The full horror of my Christmas is hopefully gone by now. Christmas with the wife's parents. It's mostly okay, but they drown themselves in perfume and aftershave.
Well, I managed to avoid Christmas with the wife's parents this year, so...
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, but the difference between
still would have been welcome.
No, absolutely. They had invited me and they wanted me there. But Joseph, I win, right? Because next year you will have to do Christmas with the wife's parents. I will not. I love my in-laws, to be fair, but Jesus Christ, my mother-in-law cannot cook.
Yeah, that's not true. I had spaghetti at her house and it was lovely.
Well,
remember?
You should try her turkey, which she cooks the day before and then slices up and stores in water in the oven to try and keep it moist. And I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Well, I say cooks it the day before. I feel like she might have started cooking it the week before.
Right.
Yeah, definitely a questionable one. Sorry, continue.
That's all right. So Joseph goes on to say, I managed to refinish a guitar since falling ill, replace a neck on a guitar too with a full fret level, dress polish, etc., and plan the next guitar build. Have you guys been keen into modding, building or DIYing your guitars? If so, what have you done? And I don't mean a fucking sticker on the body. Kind regards, Joseph Maxwell. Joseph, you've done more in terms of modding a guitar while fighting off Guillain-Barré, or Guillain-Barré, however you pronounce it, than I have done in my full career. I think the maximum I've done when it comes to fucking my guitars, because I've always had stupid wee projects, is spray paint, sand, replace hardware, and solder in pickups. That is as much as I have done.
You've got that chrome paint, haven't you, sat around?
I moved it recently, but I do. Yeah. Actually, a friend of mine, Ped from Frontierer, and Sectioned wanted to paint one of his guitars for Frontierer. He wants to chrome one. Shout out to Ped. And I put him onto this. Him and I have been kind of back and forth for the last year. Every time we find anything that looks like potentially could be chroming guitar, like, look at this. And he's tried most of them. I don't think he got the results he wanted with that stuff, but I know that you can apply it by spray gun and you can also brush it on. And I think they just sprayed it. So I've still got my bottle of chrome paint, which I haven't done anything with. Had a few ideas. I do this. I buy things to do mods and to have an idea of what I'm going to do with guitars and then just don't really do anything with them for a long time. I've got some glow-in-the-dark paint that I've had put aside for a guitar that I've not used. I've got spray-on vinyl that I used for a couple of guitars that I wasn't really happy with. But I am into it, to be honest, Joseph. Sounding like a fucking broken record here, but for a long while I followed what Perry was doing, as well as a lot of other builders and modders, professional and amateur, on the Ultimate Guitar forums. So I'm very interested in it, and I love watching people build these things. Like, I also at one point looked into designing and building my own cab, so it was ported and the speaker angles were stopping any sort of phase cancellation and whatever else. Like, thinking I was going to get right into it and all the considerations that I would need to do, and then it just never really went anywhere. So my answer pretty much is that I'm all fart and no shit. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Levi, you're not much a project guy, are you?
I am. You've just not seen the project guitars. So when I eventually, following on from what we talked about previously, of trying to work out what it was that I wanted to do, what I wanted my guitars to be, what I wanted to play, I got I had a Mexican Stratocaster that I decided I was going to full on mod, like just turn into the Strat that I wanted it to be. This is while I was waiting for my first Sur to show up. So with that guitar, I got a new neck for it. I got a warm-off neck for it. I had the body routed to put a 2-point floating trem in there, like a vintage style, but you know, still so I could pull it all the way up.
I like the Wilkinson VS 100 or something like that.
Yeah. Did the pickups change? I guess the heavy mod that I did on it was I took like a cardboard tube like roller, and then I wrapped sandpaper around it, and then on the back of the upper horn, I sanded and sanded and sanded that until enough of it had gone away that there was more access for my hand. I also made and this isn't putting a sticker on the guitar, so it totally counts. I made a DIY stencil for the Hellcat Molly logo and spray painted the Hellcat Molly logo on the back of the guitar. Because sure, why not? But that guitar just it didn't feel right, it didn't play right. So I did quite a lot of modding on that. My main Telecaster though, my Danny Gatton clone. You know, I've got
that's fair, yeah.
I've got
done a lot to that.
The dingus plate that I've put on that. And when Carson made that for me, he said, "I assume you don't want the rivet screws that will go in the front of the guitar. You're not going to want to drill holes in the front of your guitar, yeah?" And I was like, "No, I don't mind drilling holes in my guitar. That's fine."
That's the whole point.
Yeah, because I've always just been of the opinion that I like to make little tweaks to my guitars in ways that make them mine. You know, my Sur Telecaster for the longest time, I had tape over the Sur logo on that.
I remember that.
Sure, part of it was a business thing, but also Wayne Krantz does that on his Tyler guitars, and I was a big fan of Wayne Krantz at the time, and still am. And seeing him with tape over the headstock of his guitar, I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do that because I think that's really, really cool. So little things like that. Nothing quite like refinishing or what have we got here. He mentioned a full fret level and things like that. No, nothing like that. But certainly wee cosmetic things and functionality things on the guitars, but never really fully transforming the guitar. But I thought it was an interesting question, and not just for us, but for our listeners. So if you're listening to the show and you have done something crazy to a guitar, let us know in that comment section. Or, of course, you could send an email to GsolesFanMail@gmail.com. You could even send pictures. Happy to share.
I was just going to say, pictures are definitely welcome.
Yeah.
I've had loads of ideas for DIY guitars that I've never got around to. So maybe one day I'll get back into having a project. But for now, I'm so bad for starting and not finishing and not getting it to where it needs to be, and then getting frustrated and just
you keep sending me like great little project guitars because I know you're always seeing them. You sent me that Telecaster body recently, the one that had been Manson modded. And
I'd only seen that, and I was only thinking of you because you had the True Temperament neck sitting.
And it was a great price. It was like 50 quid he wanted for it, like just a ridiculously good price. But I just knew that it was going to be something that would just sit on my desk and never. It would either cost me a bunch more money to do more with it, to ultimately make a guitar that isn't going to be one that I'm ever really going to play. Yeah, and work, mate, fucking effort. I like the fact that I have guitars that I can just pick up and play rather than go pick them up and go, well, this one needs work. Apart from all my guitars that need fretwork doing on them at the moment. But yeah, thank you very much, Joseph, for your email. We have one more.
Yes, absolutely. I just want to say thanks to Joseph as well, and best of luck with your journey with Guy and Beret. Hopefully you do well, mate, and please stay in touch. Thanks for your support. So the last one we've got is from James Holt. Hi Guitar Souls, I love the podcast and always listening when I've got some downtime. Would love the chance to win an Ormsby guitar as it sounds amazing. Sorry, James.
Yeah.
just need to put that right in straight at the start, don't we? Since my attempt at erotic... Oh, it was you that done it? Yes. Right, since my attempt at erotic fan fiction didn't go so well...
Oh, no, we got a lot of emails of erotic fan fiction.
Even more?
Yeah.
No
I just didn't want to read any of it.
Right, you need to collate them, and we're going to do an episode where I just read erotic fan fiction and you look embarrassed and confused. Because seeing you speechless is such... a monumentous occasion that I want to continue it anytime I can. Anyway, we'll continue, right? We'll get in about this question from James. I've been searching around for a super light electric guitar. I'm currently playing the Yamaha Silent guitar, which is around 2 kilograms. Sorry, Levi, you want to show something before?
No, this is for when we continue talking.
Right, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I suffer from fibromyalgia, which gives me chronic neck, shoulder and back pain, and want to be able to continue to play in practice. Can you guys recommend any super light electric guitars which might be worth me checking out? As Levi has in his hands right now, I'm not going to go any further into this email just yet.
Yeah.
That is the top contender.
So this is the Ormsby, and I know it feels like we're plugging, of course I am, but I'm going to mention, competition for this as well. This guitar, this is a 7-string. It's so unbelievably lightweight. It's 5 pounds and 12 ounces, which is 2.6 kilos, I think. I just checked that. Let me double check that. 2.6 kilos.
Not much more than a Yamaha Silent guitar, but fully functioning with
the demonstration I always like to give with this is that I can just pick this guitar up with my thumb and fingers and just hold it out. It just doesn't weigh anything. It's really lightweight because it's chambered. If you're talking about guitars that are super lightweight, something without a headstock whacks a huge chunk of weight off the guitars.
Yep.
And something with a chambered body. So this has a chambered body. There's no headstock on it. It's just a really lightweight guitar.
It's also fairly lightweight woods. I believe it's swamp ash.
Yeah.
Rather than something that's a bit more dense like mahogany or basswood.
Yeah, so I could pick up my Mayonnaise Hydra, which is the headless model. That's mahogany, and it's not chambered. It's not a lightweight guitar. Don't get me wrong, still relatively lightweight, but in the grand scheme of things, compared to this, it's quite a heavy guitar. I did a little bit of research into this. It seems that the Strandberg, like the Bowden series Strandbergs, are ridiculously lightweight, potentially even more consistently lightweight than this.
Really? Because I've got Kieran's Bowden Metal 8 here that I've just sold on eBay for him, and that feels heavier than my Goliath, but that is an 8 to a 6 string, so maybe that's where I'm seeing it.
Yeah, and I guess it depends what hardware you've got on the guitar, etc. But point is, like, one of these modern headless guitars, you're going to find something really lightweight. If you can't get on board with the idea of a guitar without a headstock, you want to be looking at Gibson SGs. SGs are really lightweight guitars because they're just tiny, thin little bodies, or even potentially the Ibanez S series guitars, which are really lightweight. There's very little wood on those. The problem you're going to have with an S series is you're playing an S series, so you look like a fucking idiot. No, I'm kidding. The problem with the S series is they're all gonna. I'm pretty sure all of them have a tremolo on them, and if you're looking to reduce weight, having a big tremolo system in your guitar is just adding a bunch of metal to the guitar. So that's gonna be an issue.
I think the S521. Okay. If I'm quoting Ibanez's very memorable and slip off the tongue modelling structure, I think that's a hardtail and it comes in like a kind of red berry finish.
Yeah.
I might be talking shit, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'll continue with James's email, because I think you've hit the nail on the head there with the light guitars. And yep, as you say, it's not like sucking corporate dick or being a seller or whatever. Like, I remember telling you when I got my Goliath that I got to the depot to pick it up, paid for the shipping or the customs, went outside and went, fuck, I think I've got an empty box. And like, I'm not kidding. Those are ridiculously light guitars, ridiculously light. So it's definitely a contender. James, if you are any way, shape or form local to us, let me know. I'll try and get one in your hands for you to try it out.
Yeah.
Obviously after lockdown. If you're not so close, we can try and hook you up with somebody else. The Ormsby group's always been really super friendly about helping people out and letting them try new equipment and stuff. So if that would help you inform your decision any better, I'd love to have the opportunity. So reach out and let us know. Let me continue, sorry. By the way, I've created a group on Facebook called Fibromyalgia Musicians Peer Support Group to help connect musicians together if you have the condition. If you could mention that in your podcast, that would be amazing. Yes, anyone who's interested, I'm going to go and follow it, although I'm lucky not to have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia at this point in life. I'd like to give that a wee like and a wee share, because it's clearly a good thing. You know what I mean? It's a Facebook group that's for everybody to chip in. So many musicians give up when they have a chronic pain condition, and this group is to help support musicians to be able to continue to play. Best wishes, James. Thanks very much, James. Everybody and anybody who is listening or watching, I would personally sincerely appreciate it if you go and add the Fibromyalgia Musicians Peer Support Group. Whether you contribute or not, it's up to you. Don't really want to flood it with people who aren't going to be useful, but a wee bit of exposure would be nice, because I dare say James would probably be very friendly and very open to anyone else with chronic conditions. For example, Joseph with the Guillain Barre, being involved in this, because as he mentioned, it's people who seem to be struggling with chronic pain conditions and other mobility problems that fall away from guitar. There's probably a lot of different medical conditions that fall under that bracket that you could join in with. So sorry if I've totally co-opted what your group's about, James. Hopefully we get some people in that want to give you some good value, and thanks very much for the message, and hopefully everything goes well with you as well, mate, with the fibromyalgia. Doesn't seem like a great diagnosis on the face of it, considering it's just you will be in pain sometimes. At least that's my understanding. I've got a couple of family members who have been diagnosed with it, and a couple of other things. That's all the fan mail. Thanks very much, James, Joseph, Dean, Charlie and Matt. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks to everybody else who sent in. Continue to do so. If we don't read yours out right away, we should get to it. If you really want us to get to it, attach a naked picture for Levi, because he loves naked pictures of anybody. He's a horrible pervert. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
I won't even tell you otherwise.
Listen, we've all got our perversions.
Yes.
We all have them. Anyway,
let's move on to our first bit of news.
This is perverted. If you want to really have a good segue, this perverted my happiness.
We're just assuming we're talking about the same thing here. But I might pick the least offensive one now to make you sound like a weirdo. No. So Gibson have purchased we're not sure how this deal works, but Gibson and Mesa Boogie are now part of the same brand, part of the same team. So welcome to the Gibson brands family, Mesa Boogie.
Yes, I'll read the post that was put on Facebook on the 6th. It's only 3 days ago. Mesa Boogie. We are now part of the Gibson family. Mesa and Gibson share a long history and unbridled passion for creating the highest quality musical instruments that have served musicians worldwide for decades. Get ready for an exciting new partnership that will take our continued pursuit of tone to new levels.
That makes me worry about Mesa Boogie and the state that their business is in.
I have a wee bit of insider information that is a reliable source for the most part, but I can't confirm it. Doesn't mean that you have to take it with a pinch of salt, but from what I've heard, Gibson have only bought Mesa Boogie to basically make profit on it and to increase their market hold by basically utilising the contacts and routes to market that Gibson have already. Not to say that Mesa Boogie need any help getting into stores, but I don't know if it's just going to be better for distribution, or maybe it's better margins, or there's going to be some other deals that they can do between Gibson and Mesa for dealers and stockers. Reportedly, for what I've heard, supposedly, this won't change any of the business side at Mesa. They're going to be functioning as they do, their own R&D, their own repairs, their own designs. It's just the distribution side that will change. I wait with bated breath to see if that's the truth, because I don't believe that for a second.
Sure.
And just what you were saying there, I feel the same way. I have concerns that Mesa Boogie are going to go down a dark path of, oh, that needs repaired, we'll just scrap it. We'll take that one off the line because we don't like the design.
Yeah.
We're going to ramp the prices up.
Yeah.
QC will go out the window.
This mentality of like celebrating the fact that you've been bought by a company that's faced bankruptcy so recently.
On top of
Constantly
that every single bit of media coverage you see of the company is negative.
Yeah.
There's nothing positive comes from anybody talking about Gibson. I can't think of a positive Gibson story in the last
sure you can.
Year and a half, except
the Adam Jones
guitars. I was going to say that's the only one of all the stories.
Yeah.
And there might even be a bit of selfishness in that from Gibson, to be honest.
Yeah.
They might be trying to protect the value of those guitars.
Yeah.
As in the ones that they've decided they've custom made. Anyway.
I like Chris Smart's comment is the one I see as the top comment on this, because we're friends on Facebook. Mentioned him on the show last week. He says, I bet Mesa Boogie's prices will rise. Wait for it. The Les Paul amp, even less connected to Les than the Les Paul studio monitors were.
It's fair.
Yeah. So, who knows? It doesn't really mean all that much to me because I don't own any Mesa Boogie stuff. I have no real interest in owning any Mesa Boogie stuff. So, yeah. But it's a big change. Big change.
Honestly, I think it's a match made in heaven if you are in a pub band and you are a lawyer or a doctor, because there's every chance that you're playing a Les Paul through a Mark V anyway.
Yeah. Maybe that's where the benefit for this is for Mesa. Gibson just said to them, look, every time we sell a Gibson Les Paul custom, we'll put a wee leaflet in with the guitar saying, have you considered getting a Mesa Boogie, so you can be even more of a cliche.
If you make over 50 grand a year and you're in one of these specific professions, then you can buy the combo pack. If you're not in those groups, then you can't, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And
I'd have just
every 10...
no interest in owning a Mesa. So,
I mean, I like the Mesa stuff. I actually have a Bagheera Tri-Rec that I scored for cheap. Remember I was telling you, for free, that I've just bought power valves for because the ones that are in it aren't working. Which should have been expected, considering I took them from an amp that wasn't working. Talk about fucking troubleshooting. But that's as close to MS as I think I would really get without buying one second hand if I get a good deal on it.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of having a dual rec or something like that. But I don't chase their products quite as fervently as other people do. Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that'd be quite a wee, not a fun story, but certainly something to talk about.
Let's talk about this Dean, this ML.
Aye. I was going to say as a segue, just like interesting gear moving forward. It turns out that Dean are getting into the multi-scale game. Now, it doesn't surprise me because there's obviously a few different brands who've seen it and went, well, let's dive on that. And I don't mean that in any nasty way.
Yeah.
It is a bit of an evolution in guitar. But it depends how it's done in my mind. Mm-hmm. And this is my problem with this guitar. Or these guitars that Dean have released. So Dean have released some multi-scale guitars with Kyler trims. Mm-hmm. So they go from 25.5 inch scale on the treble to 27.5 inch on the bass end.
Yep.
But having a trim means that the nut has to be straight. So the fan on them goes from 0 fret being the straight fret, the parallel fret, and then everything fans from there. Yeah. And in my mind, and at least the way I'm looking at this guitar, that does not look accommodating for anybody past the 12th fret if you're playing anything like any of the low strings.
Yeah.
And because I've seen so many guitars with the parallel fret moves, and you see it between them all, they've all got different places where the fan widens and shortens. Something about this looks off to me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to recognise that I probably have a bias from playing multi-scale guitars that have a fixed 7th or 8th fret, I believe, being the parallel fret. So I'm used to the scale or the fan coming for like the middle of the neck and outwards. But I don't know. I mean, as I say, we have got some insider information. We're lucky in that sense that one of our friends has a good working relationship with Dean, and I think they're going to get their hands on one of these. And we'll get a bit of a better explanation and some information then.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, it's a shaky enough nail that it's going to be a trem on it, so it's fanning for the nut, but it's a Kyler.
Yeah. It's definitely a really questionable one. I really enjoy it because you talk about having bias, right? We all have bias. I have a bias when it comes to this. Not in terms of like opinion, but in terms of the fact that I have a natural bias in the sense that I'm fucking educated and I understand how fucking things work, you fucking clowns. My most popular video on YouTube, I've not checked this actually, but I'm sure it's me doing the Ormsby fan threat thing, talking about what fan threats are for. And the amount of fucking shtick that people love to give me because I'm pointing out that what fan threats do, what it's for tension. It increases it, improves the tension across strings for tuning lower, etc., etc. And the amount...
And intonality.
Say again?
And intonality.
How do you mean?
Because it's got to be, well, the guitar's got to be tempered, and obviously the lower the note goes, the longer the string space needs to be, so you can intonate more accurately. So it's well tempered. It's not obviously true temperament.
But the point that people love to do, and Dean have done it too, is they love to say that fan frets are for ergonomics. Fan frets are more efficient for your hands because that's the way your hand works, and it's just absolute fucking nonsense because ergonomics are 100% totally opinion. You know what I mean? Like how ergonomic something is. And this guitar, I loved when Perry made the Rusty Cooley signature because that's kind of this but in reverse. Yeah, it's the
lesser of a fan.
It's but the bridge is straight.
Yeah,
and it fans towards
so it's going for the Floyd Rose outwards. Yeah, correct.
And it's a less extreme difference between the high string and the low string. So
I think it's only like half an inch.
Yeah,
different. I'm sure it's a 25.5 to a 26.5 on the Rusty Cooley's, the RC ones.
Yeah.
But your point's right. The trem is the flat point rather than that.
So when we read this, read their marketing shtick, it says, taking the time to do it right. That's right, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. The multi-scales are here. 24 frets of ergonomic design. Sorry, ergonomic design. How is this an ergonomic design? It, like, if there was an... Ergonomics, sure, it's opinion, but there should be wide swaths of the community that agree with each other on what's ergonomic, right? Why is it that there's so much fucking difference between every company that does a fan fret thing? It's because there is no inherent ergonomic benefit of this. And in this particular instance, I can look at this and point out the massive ergonomic failures of this. And we've already mentioned them, which is once you start getting higher up on that neck, good luck reaching the low strings, because anyone that tells you your hand opens this way and therefore it makes sense to have the first fret fanning that way, well, they're an idiot as well, because your hand doesn't close like this. You have strength in your hand when your fingers are straight. This is how the strength is. Try and like fan your finger out like that and then put any strength down. It's just not what your hand does. It does this. That's how the hand works. Sure, your hand does fan out this way, but as you go up the guitar, these fingers don't get any better at stretching out, and as you go up the guitar, and more egregiously on this guitar, the higher you go up, the further and further those frets start getting away from your hand. So you're going to have to start twisting your hand in a weird way and pushing your fingers in order to reach things that you could normally reach on a normal guitar. This is far from a fucking ergonomic design. It's a ridiculous design. I do respect that they're doing it. I do kind of like that they're doing it, and I like that they're doing a different spin on things, but I can mark my words on this one. Absolutely mark my words on this one. This design will not be a thing in 5 years.
You're probably right.
People aren't going to see this and go, holy shit, this is a game changer. This is how we need to do our fan frets. Because this is dumb. This is so unbelievably dumm. So dumb. Dean have fucked it up, and the only company that I think have fucked it up as badly as Dean have is Ibanez, who put the straight fret at fret 12. Meaning that your first fret is so unbelievably fanned that way that it's just, again, dumb. Dumb. The companies that I'm going on a full rant here. The companies that make these designs and then do the marketing speak so they can appeal to dumb people and convince them that, well, there's a reason that we've done it this way. No, the reason we've fucking done it this way is so we can do something different, and you'll buy things because things are different. If something's different and we say that we know what we're doing, you'll just assume that we know what we're doing. Whereas in reality, look at this guitar. They don't know what they're doing. Nobody has play tested this and gone, this is a great idea. This is a monstrosity.
I know I sent you the ML. They've got another fanned fret model. Have you seen this?
I have not. Which one is it?
It's an Exile, which is a super strat shape. Now, on the surface, it's pretty cool.
Send it to
but
me on
that
Facebook.
trem takes up the majority of the body. Wait, I'll send you it now. I was just copying the link while I was asking you, because I wasn't sure if you did a look. My understanding is they do a 6, a 7 and an 8 of the AMLs and the Exiles with the fan fret, the multi-scale with the Kaler on it. But look how much real estate that bridge takes. Look at it.
Okay.
And maybe this sounds like me shitting on Dean just because they're trying to do a multi-scale thing and we're kind of gatekeeping because we are supported by Ormsby. It's not like that. If Ormsby were doing something that was bad, we'd probably have a chat with Perry first, but it doesn't mean that we wouldn't maybe report it. We try and be as objective as possible and as unbiased as we can be, at least acknowledging biases. But my problem with this is what you're saying. Like, I kind of think it's a non-argument that we talk about the higher range for the lower strings, because realistically, who's using them other than gent people? And they're probably tapping a note there just to be a smart ass anyway. You know what I mean? I don't mean that in a nasty or a dismissive way, but
I think that's an argument that you would make if you're saying, try playing the 24th fret on the lowest string. Like, you're sure that is dumb, but people absolutely are playing like the 14th fret on the D string.
Yeah.
And this is just harder to reach.
It might be comfortable. It certainly looks like it'd be harder to reach. I get what you're saying, 100%. The Exile looks a bit better for neck access because that scoop comes away past the 24th fret and then further down, and it looks like you probably have good neck access. But I just think that trem is ghastly.
Is egregious.
Egregious is a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
Maybe I am being a bit harsh because I've never had a Kaler and I've avoided Kalers because everything I see about them is so Marmite. People either fucking love them or fucking hate them, and I would really hate to get something I hated like that.
Yeah.
So I will consider not touching one.
Yeah.
I have no real life experience of a Kaler, and it probably will stay that way for a long time.
Interesting, because we've over the course of this show we have been positive about Dean in the sense that Gibson had been trying to sue them, which is just laughable because of all the companies, Dean are not the one you want to go after. But also we've been critical of Dean because, they're dropping artists left, right and centre, aren't they? They were taken over by someone. Michelangelo Battio left, and actually we haven't mentioned this story yet because we don't know where he's gone, but Dave Mustaine has left Dean Guitars as well. He's looking to announce where he's gone soon. So people are, artists that know how this company work are not happy with how the company is being run.
Maybe Megadeth will get a sawtooth.
Oh God, please no. I actually had someone leave a comment on YouTube trying to point out what hypocrites we are because we rip into the sawtooth stuff while promoting Ormsby, and they're functionally the same thing because they're made in the same factories.
So all guitars are the same, that's right.
I know, they're functionally the same things because they're made in the same factories. It's like, no, pal. The sawtooth stuff is cheap imitation of other guitars. It's, here's a Strat, we've made our own Strat, it's being manufactured on the cheap so we can sell it and make as much profit as possible. We sell our guitars cheap because we make cheap guitars. And then you've got the Ormsby stuff where they've got their own designs and then they send their materials to the factory because that's how that works. So Perry's sourcing the actual woods that he wants things to be manufactured with, and all of the hardware, that's all sourced, sent to the factory, put together. Then that stuff is then sent back to Perry and the guys in Australia or one of their European equivalents, and then taken care of from a quality control standpoint.
You're bang on. I was just going to say, just for clarification, I think there's only one area it goes to in EU. I'm pretty sure all the orders go through, is it Martin and Dirk, I think?
Potentially.
The guys that run the Ormsby Vault, GTR Vault on Facebook. But just as a besides, my point is reinforcing what you're saying. There are 2 approved QC points for these guitars that come when it come out the factory. One of them is Perry, and the other one is people that Perry has went, you're allowed to work in these guitars. Yeah. Very strict.
Yeah. And of course, as we say, it's their designs, Sure, I guess technically Sawtooth have their own designs, but all of their designs are, how can we do a Strat without it being a Strat? How can we do a Les Paul without it being a Les Paul? They're contributing absolutely fucking nothing to guitar design in any way, shape or form. All they're contributing to guitar as a whole is, we might be able to manufacture these cheaper than the competition, so you might choose us. Like, totally fucking different things. Totally different things. Anyway, disgusting guitars. Don't buy one of these. They look fucking awful. I
want to try one. I hope music shops are allowed again soon.
Yeah, well, looking at their website, it says guitars. Find a dealer, and it says US only. So, I don't know whether that means that these guitars won't be available internationally, or if that means that, as it currently stands, Dean's online find a dealer thing only works for the US. So who really knows? But these guitars are not going to take off. They're not going to take off.
Here's something that I've just noticed. Right. So these are a brand new model. They've just been launched. Have you seen the price of them up the top?
2,000 and something.
$2,500, but it says MSRP is $3,800. Now, I'm not being an asshole, right? But if you value the design, build quality, parts, and manufacture of this guitar at $3,800, absolutely brand new, straight out the box. It's a brand new design, but you can knock 1,300 quid off that price. It's probably not got the MSRP of 3,799. It's probably got the MSRP of 2,499.
Yeah, these guitars.
You've not given it any time. Exactly, you've not given them any time to show that's what their market value is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't ask for whatever you want for it, but this is kind of like when you see Curry's put their prices up for 2 weeks so they can say something's on sale, but it'd be the original price from the 2 weeks before that the sale price is. That's at least the optics from my side. I'm not saying that's definitely what it is, but not a good look, Dean. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
should we finish the show up with the sad news?
I'm sure people do know this and don't really.
Again, as soon as the last episode went up, or maybe the day that it went up, this Alexi, Laiho, Children of Bodom, passed away at 41.
I mean, he did drink a fucking lot. I don't know if that was linked to his death. I never looked into the cause of death or
it's
whatever.
Not been revealed.
I wouldn't have thought so. I was quite bummed out to start with. Yeah. I will say, my Facebook has been red hot with people talking about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I mean, like united across the board, people saying I really like Children of Bodom.
Sure.
Whether they're in death metal bands, rock bands, maybe not even that bothered about music, but remember listening to them when they were younger.
Yeah.
People that were maybe even Neddy when they were younger, like Neddy being like non-educated delinquents is the actual abbreviation, or what Ned's abbreviated for, but it doesn't really mean that. It kind of means people who are trendy in Scotland, or not even trendy, I don't know how to describe it. It's hard to explain what a Ned is without it sounding shitty and condescending. The English equivalents are chav. I don't know what the American equivalent would be. No, I don't want to say dropout either, because that's no fair.
No.
It's a strange UK only demographic, I think, saying Ned or chav. Anyway, a lot of people talking about Children of Bodom. So much so that I actually went back and listened to a couple albums myself, and I forgot how much I really, really enjoyed Children of Bodom when I was younger.
Yeah, same.
And just how good Alexi Laiho actually was on guitar. Yeah. And what's the other guitarist's name again?
They've had a couple, haven't they? I'm sure they had a couple. I mean,
really?
I've got their page open on Wikipedia at the moment, so I will.
I always thought it was the same members.
I could be totally wrong on that. Yeah, they've had a couple of different Alexander Kupla, Root Latvala, and Daniel Freyberg. Would different points in their career. They've had three different rhythm guitar players.
I think that, did you say it was Rooney Latvala?
Roop Roope.
I think he had a signature with ESP.
Right. He is their longest
he was one
serving.
Of the main. Aye.
Yeah, and the latest one he only played on the last album. So
right, fair enough.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's the original Alexander. He played on those first 4 albums even, and that's Something Wild, Hatebreeder, Follow the Reaper, Hate Creed, Death Roll. I remember getting into them around when Follow the Reaper came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought they were pretty cool around Follow the Reaper. I love Hate Creed, Death Roll. I remember Are You Dead Yet? I vividly remember that album coming out and going to buy it the day it came out, and not liking it nearly as much.
And allowed to go out?
Say again?
Can you remember albums and being allowed to go out?
Yeah, the good old days.
Nostalgia trip.
I remember not liking Are You Dead Yet as much as the albums that had come before, with them being a little bit more, I don't want to say more commercial, but it felt less flamboyant and virtuoso-y is the way I would describe it. Those first few albums are like pretty over the top, and Are You Dead Yet just didn't give me that same vibe.
I get what you're saying, actually. When you think about Follow the Reaper, Hate Creed, Death Roll, you're expecting like orchestra hits and the keyboards to like almost push it into power metal territory or like into symphonic stuff. Are You Dead Yet's a bit more straightforward. a bit more guitar oriented than guitar and keyboard, and like it's more like that's more like the band maturing than it being about arrangements.
Yeah.
For the previous stuff in my mind as well. So I get what you're saying.
I'm sure if I dig around as well, I've still got Chaos Ridden Years Stock'em Knockout Live, the live album that they did. I've got the DVD of that. And yeah, I think it kind of showcases where the problem with that band might have gone. There's a lot of drinking in that. And actually the thing I vividly remember from that is them cooking hot dogs via flamethrowers.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so really, yeah, cool band. Definitely a cool band, especially those first few albums. And 41 is just way too young, isn't it? Way, 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 way too young.
Absolutely. Especially, like, I don't want to say like a hero or an idol, but somebody that clearly means a lot to people. And for him to pass so young, it's a bit of a kick in the stones. 2021 was supposed to be a better year. Here we are 9 days in, and all we can talk about is how one of the biggest amplifier companies in the world has been bought over by a shithole. Literally just a festering, bubbling cesspit of business misunderstanding, mismanagement, and apathy. Probably even, I would say more than apathy, I would say disdain towards their actual customer base and their own fucking roots. And death and dismay, and I'm sure it'll get better.
I hope so. Certainly do fucking hope so. But yeah, now is a.
Do you fancy doing a listening party?
Definitely.
You want to?
Yeah, we talked about this via message. We absolutely will. I'll have you over and we'll listen to those records, and even if we have to, I'll leave the door open, and then technically we're meeting outside. Is that a thing? I mean, we're outside of my house.
Your garage is outside. Your studio's outside. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, fuck it. We should definitely get a drink.
I mean, should always definitely get a drink. I'm an alcoholic now, remember?
Well, I mean, I just realised that that's probably a bad thing to suggest when we're going to listen to a band based on the singer who's died and potentially died of alcohol problems because of the amount of drunk. Is that tasteless?
I think that with Alexi, and this is relative speculation, but like he had come out a long time ago saying that he'd stopped drinking when he was out on tour. Which doesn't necessarily mean he'd completely stopped drinking, but if you look at pictures of him, recent pictures of him out on tour in the last couple of years when he was able to go out on tour, man, he was a bag of bones. He really was a bag of bones. And all of the press releases
he was always
said
pretty slim though.
Yes, but it just felt like something else. Like it looked like his head was too big for his body type thing.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. So. It's, all the news stories have said like after a long illness, and it's like, well, these long illnesses have never really been referenced. So my speculation on that was immediately like, it's not that I don't feel that he's probably drunk himself to death now, but I think it's probably ongoing damage from the sheer amount of drinking that he had done in the previous years. So
that's all it would take.
Be careful of the demon alcohol, as Ozzy Osbourne puts it.
My philosophy at the moment really is that everything in moderation, including moderation, and that the devil's in the dosage. Things aren't necessarily bad for you unless you take the piss with them.
All right, I'll bear that in mind. I'll send you over a wee package of heroin, and as long as you handle it.
No, I'm not saying that you should do everything, but just do everything to the amount that you want to. Yeah. What I'm saying is, if you're going to make choices, be informed. At least make a choice where you know the consequences and the positives and the negatives. I am very much a consequentialist, which is why I probably would never touch heroin, on top of the fact that I've got quite an addictive personality. So I'd be like, give me that. Yeah. Which not. There's enough of that in Scotland.
Yeah. So, sad note to end the show on, but as I say, please do go and check out Alexi and those early Children of Bodom albums, because they really are. They're great. There's just some great playing on them and great vibe, and that was definitely influential in me starting to get into that power metal thing, because I heard that, and there's all the keyboard stuff, and there's a definite neoclassical influence, and it's very difficult to not get into anything sounding slightly neoclassical and then be pulled down into the power metal world. We've gone full circle. We're back at Iced Earth.
I don't want to listen to Iced Earth. I've seen multiple people on Facebook who are obviously Iced Earth fans, just throwing CDs in the bin and stuff and videos, just like, right.
I love stuff like that because it's the most pathetic thing you can possibly do. The band don't care. You've already bought the CD.
Yep. There's a really, really, really good Jimmy Carr joke, but I'm not going to tell it. I'll tell it off here because I'll get cancelled.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, Yeah, we've already announced the winners of that glorious guitar. That glorious, glorious guitar from your friends at Ormsby. And
yes, Austin, you lucky, lucky boy.
Ormsby are absolutely fantastic. In fact, did you know? This show has been brought to you by our friends over at Ormsby Guitars. If you have the time, please do head on over and follow them on Instagram to see more of their incredible work. I'm actually spending more and more of my time each day scrolling through Instagram and really getting the appeal of looking at incredible instruments like this. It just makes you want to order something really, really special. Of course, you can always contact them if you want to order a custom shop guitar, or head on over to their website, check out the pre-order section and get involved on the upcoming Goliath Run 14. Again, one of these guitars can be pre-ordered for as little as $1,200 US. That's an incredible price. That's a lot of guitar for very little money. So if you want something like this in your life, head on over to ormsbyguitars.com and get involved. Thanks so much to Ormsby, and we'll see you for another show soon. Laters. So as always, a huge thank you to our friends over at Ormsby Guitars. You guys have been incredible over the last 18 months. And long may our partnership continue, because I think it's good for everybody. It's good for Ormsby, it's good for us, and it's good for you guys, because I know a bunch of you have checked them out thanks to their featuring on this show, and lots of you are very happy with the fact that you've been able to do that. Go buy an Ormsby, not a sawtooth.
I mean, that's what we want to do. We just want to inform people about what the options are out there. Nobody's saying that Ormsby are better than every other guitar and they do everything that everybody else does. Like, this is an argument you often come up against. I'm sure you've had it yourself. People like, why do you need more than one guitar? Like, because they do different things. It's like saying, why have you only got a hammer? Or saying to like a joiner, you only need a hammer. No, that's one tool in a toolbox.
Well, we're going back to your signature knife, fork, spoon combination that we talked about a long time ago.
I think that was only a couple of episodes ago. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? A knife, okay?
Yeah, the signature. Own lots of guitars, because owning lots of guitars is good.
the 2.0 of that spork knife combination actually splits in half, so you can turn the bottom end of it into chopsticks if you don't want to use that. That's the next move. Yeah. You and I, we're going to Dragon's Den, and then we're going to go to Australia and go to Shark Tank and take Perry Ways and be like, remember this guy? Yeah. Well, he wants you to buy our, and I'm looking.
You're missing an actual a bigger potential with that. Did you know that one of those chopsticks actually functions as a straw? So you only need one piece of cutlery for all of your drinking and eating needs.
You are the GOAT.
Yeah.
Greatest of all time. I can't wait till we are selling millions and billions of these products.
Yeah. It would be nice, because at this stage we might sell one t-shirt a month. On that note, please do check out a link to our Teespring store. Link is in the description. No better time than now. Because again, I'm not sure where the winner of this guitar is based, but I'm going to have to ship it somewhere, and it'd be nice if that didn't break my bank account open.
Aye, that's it. But we're not hopelessly shilling this. That's not really for our own personal gain. Yeah. But the more support we have, the more chance there is that we can cover the costs of our hosting costs. Yeah. Maybe some new equipment at some point if we need to. Saying that, you and I are pretty good at having our own stuff and being on top of that in regards, because we're both total gear geeks. And I know certainly you're a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to sound quality, which makes sense. But also it would definitely help us with, as you say, the shipping costs.
Sure. So yeah.
If you want to support us, please do.
Please do that. Mike, until next time.
Bye.
Fuckers.